Welcome to Here's the Thing, our weekly program that features various interesting people, people of different backgrounds. And, I know that, a lot of these programs are done in Portuguese, but we live in a bilingual country and with many languages and many ethnicities. So today we have someone who probably doesn't speak Portuguese very well, but doesn't mean that she doesn't understand Portuguese, okay, or the Portuguese culture, because she lives in a city where culture is about everyone and everything, and it's all around us. So I think we all understand a little bit about everyone. And so today's guest, our guest, is Ana Golja.
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 So close, yeah.
See, I made my first error, which is nice,
Perfect. It's out of the way.
You make it at the beginning, and so I will call you Golja from now on.
Okay.
But I was reading a little bit on your bio, and on your album, you also said Muzuana.
Moazana,
Moazana.
yes. That's my legal name.
That's your legal name. Is that your legal last name?
No, that's my legal first name.
First name, okay.
But growing up, I was very self-conscious because it was such a foreign name. It's like, how do you pronounce that? Moawa. So then people just started calling me Ana.
Ana.
That was it.
So what's the background?
Very mixed roots. Both my parents were born and raised in Albania.
Wow.
But we have some Spanish, some Greek, and some German Jewish. So
see, you do speak a little bit of Portuguese.
I mean, I know obrigado.
Obrigado. See?
That's about it.
Maybe today you'll learn one.
I'll learn a couple things.
So you were born in Toronto?
Yes, born and raised.
Born and raised, and third generation maybe already. First generation. Oh, because I was reading something about your great grandmother.
Oh yes.
Yes, she's 93, and I figured if she was here, then so obviously she's not here, right?
She is here.
She's here.
But she came over after my parents settled their roots here, and then my grandmother, and then we brought her over as well.
Yeah. Well, your parents were probably like a lot of us. I arrived in 1970, and which is hard to believe that it's over 50 years already. And at the time goes fast, and all immigrants and trying to make a living here and to do the best that we can.
Sure.
And you started performing at 5 years old.
Yeah, I started dancing at 5 years old. Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah.
So what made you a dancer? Why did you want to dance?
Well, the arts were always encouraged and supported in my family and celebrated. But we watched a lot of old movies. So we watched a lot of Shirley Temple movies.
Oh, I loved Shirley Temple.
Loved her.
Yeah.
And so I was feeling very inspired by her. And when I was 5, I went to the bathtub and I opened up the water a little bit and started tapping my feet to imitate the sounds that she did.
Wow.
And so once my parents saw that, they said, oh, you know what? Maybe we'll take her to a dance class. And that was it. Then I competed and did that for 14 years.
Wow. So, but still dance? You still do your musicals where you dance and so on. So once you do it, you never stop, right?
For sure. It's in your blood. It's in your heart.
And at the age of 9, you started also film and more. What kind of film were you doing back then?
Back then, well, the first audition I booked, and that was a guest star role on a TV series called 1-800-MISSING. And so it started out with a few recurring roles, and then I did a lot of work for the Family Channel and Disney and Nickelodeon. I did a Broadway show called White Christmas, and did The Sound of Music here as well, the Princess of Wales Theatre.
Wow.
And so it just continued on and on and on. Haven't stopped.
Can you imagine? 24 and you already, and you've done all of these things. I mean, when I read your bio, and I tried to put all of that you've done together until this point in your life. I say to myself, well, you know, she's probably done more in these 24 years of life than most performers do in a lifetime. I mean, you really put a lot together because you're a performer, you're a musician, you know, you're an actress. It's amazing that you're able to tie all of these things together in such a tight package that you just seem to go from one thing to the next and try to make it all successful.
Yeah, to me they're all the same thing. They're all a form of expression. They're all a form of storytelling, and that's my favorite thing to do. So.
Well, yeah, it is about storytelling, and you know, one of the things that I'm going to ask you about your film, The Cuban, because that's very important in your career right now. Yeah. But I'm also interested in your musical career, where you know you recorded your first album, Epilogue, yes, and now you're starting your second album. Is it any different than the first album, or are you following the same roots? And
definitely the same roots in terms of that they're all personal, but
so
sonically.
So do you write and compose?
Yeah, I write. I co-write. So that's obviously the core of the process, but sonically, production-wise, it's very different than the first release. It's definitely, it's more current. It's almost teetering on the side of dance music, which is very exciting because of my history in dance. So I want to be able to really put on a show and entertain people now more than ever.
Well, now more than ever, and I think we're all in a little bit of seclusion right now, even with our creative aspects. I think we're all trying to keep as normal as possible. Yeah. How has this pandemic affected your creativity and the isolation of what are you able to do to keep things going and current?
Yeah, well, when the pandemic first hit and it was that initial shock of the whole world is ending, everything is shut down, it was very difficult for sure, just because I was on such a trajectory with The Cuban. You know, we had our theatrical release ready to go April 24th, and all of a sudden that was gone, and so all these things that were building up all of a sudden basically were on hold or didn't even exist anymore.